Hi guys, it's Shara here from BlissBody&Soul, and recently I conducted a poll in our Ayurveda YOU Facebook group, and if you voted in that poll, thank you so very much, because in that poll I asked about your Agni or your digestive fire, and I got some amazing feedback, which actually gave me a much better sense for not only what you're dealing with, but also what you need information about. And I also realized it might be time to talk a little bit about digestion. So if you've had any experience with Ayurveda or you've been listening to me for any period of time, you're probably going to know that digestion, according to Ayurveda, is the key to good health. We are what we digest. And the beautiful thing for me, and I'm sure plenty of other Ayurvedic folks out there, is that we're actually starting to hear that from within the health and wellness industry as well. And so hopefully that's really reinforcing for you the fact that your digestion is super, super key. What's also important is to understand that we're not just digesting the food that we're taking in, we're also digesting everything, the food, the ideas, the thoughts, the interactions, the physical, mental, and emotional experiences. And so to do that, we need to be operating in a way that's truly efficient, because we want to take all the goodness from all of these things that we're experiencing and allow that to fuel our experience of life. And so Ayurveda believes that there's 4 different types of Agni, or digestive fire. And that was what I asked about in the poll. I asked whether you were any of the 4 different types of digestion. And each of these different types of digestion actually gives you some indication of the level of efficiency with which you're actually digesting life. The level of efficiency with which you're actually able to extract all the goodness from all of your experiences and your food and allow that to fuel you in order to be as happy and as healthy as you possibly can be. And so I said that I was going to create a series, and this is the first in that series, to talk about each of those 4 different types and what you can actually do to manage if you're dealing with any of the 3 types that are a little bit less than optimal. But we're going to start this video talking a little bit about what healthy digestion, or the series I should say, talking a little bit about what healthy digestion looks like and how you can keep it that way. So within Ayurveda, we call healthy digestion Sama Agni. Sama Agni means balanced Agni, or a balanced digestion. And what does that look like, you might ask? Well, Sama Agni, or balanced digestion, looks like regular, complete, and consistent eliminations. It looks like feeling light and energetic and mentally clear and alert, especially after eating. It also looks like a clean tongue, so not having any sort of coating or discolorations in the tongue. It also feels like that having a feeling of physical hunger, and that's something that a lot of us kind of don't really experience so much anymore. And remembering that our digestion is digesting everything so that it can fuel everything, our entire experience of life. Having a healthy digestion also means that you're going to be feeling things like joy and contentment and enthusiasm and wholeness as a human being. And so I want to give you a few tips for keeping your digestion that way. If this is your experience, and there were a few in the poll who answered in this way, well done. If this is your experience of digestion, I just want to give you a few tips for keeping it that way. So what I can tell you about keeping your digestion happy and healthy is to do just a few important things. So the first thing I would say is spice up your food. And I don't mean sort of make it super spicy. I mean, make sure to include some spices in your diet that actually help to stimulate your digestion. So things like ginger are terrific. Cumin is great, coriander is terrific, and even ensuring that you've got a little bit of salt in your meals, but not too much, can actually stimulate your digestion and keep it happy and healthy. The next thing I would probably say is to eat in an environment that is as stress-free as possible, and to be sure that you're tuning into your experience of the food. So by stress-free, well, that's going to be a little bit subjective. That's going to be different for every person. But make sure to tune into how your environment is actually impacting your experience of the meal and of the food. And the last thing is try to avoid as much as possible iced or refrigerated or super cold drinks. that cold drink, those cold liquids actually serve to cool the Agni, to cool or to kind of squash your digestive fire. And so if you're drinking too many cold drinks, you might actually end up with a digestive fire that is compromised in some way. And so that's something that a lot of folks do, but you probably want to avoid if at all possible. And so, as I mentioned at the beginning, this is a series, and I'm creating a video about each of the 4 types of Agni or digestive fire. And so if you're interested in hearing more, then make sure to tune in for the rest of the videos in the series. And if you're interested in getting involved in more of these polls, I'm planning on running more of them in our Ayurveda YOU group, Facebook group. Come on over and join the group. In there I sort of share tips and all sorts of videos and information about how to incorporate Ayurveda into your life. And so I hope to see you in there. And I definitely encourage you to enjoy the rest of the videos in this series. Namaste.